Oh, he just jumped on right as I as I was getting this started. Alright, looks like Facebook's going good. Looks like YouTube's going good. Uh looks like Twitch is going good. Oh shit. You know what's not going good though is Instagram. I had that set up over there, and normally I have it kind of posting a little just I'm have it pointed right at the wall that kind of just tells you where to go to watch this, because I was trying to stream it just regularly on Instagram, but it's not super efficient, so I'm just using it as a way to advertise this a little more. But right now it's not going up because the connection right now isn't the best for the phone in this winter storm we're having once again. So this is Squirmy, by the way. I don't think you've met him yet, but this is my boy, my pride and joy. The whole heart of me is this boy right here. Squirmy boy, how you doing? You're not quite as talkative as you normally are. That means because he's happy. I think you guys heard that little walk he did there. Oh, did you? Did you not? Oh, yeah, we got sound. We totally got sound. Well, this is not started out the way I planned. Normally I start off with a little song, but yeah, it's a good boy. It's a good boy right there. We just had a little visitor, so I guess now let's get into this song. No, that's the light, bro. That's the light cord. Please don't knock it over. Please. And the camera right here is there's pieces of tape holding down the mini tripod because this cat, my boy, he loves to just rub his face all over everything and knock things over. He doesn't chew cords, though. He just likes to rub his face and everything. So a lot of cats really chew cords. He's just a very affectionate boy, even to the inanimate objects and such. There he is again. Come here, buddy. Come here. You want on the other side? You want to sit here? What are you thinking, buddy? Oh, see, because I didn't start the stream on the phone, it didn't end up working. I forgot to turn off Do Not Disturb, because that's normally what I do, but so now you might hear that vibrate every now and then in its little tripod. Alright, thank you for indulging me with that one. It's 5, almost quarter after 5, but we're going to shoot to go maybe 5 minutes over 6 p.m. today because I started just a tad late. Oh. How we doing, everybody? It's a Friday. Oh, it's been a minute since I've been here on a Friday. I've mostly had Mondays because the couple of here times that I've had to cancel, unfortunately, have been the Fridays. And the Friday ones are the one I kind of want to do more because it's a Friday. You, of course, feel more relaxed. And even though I'm kind of off the cuff most of the time-ish, Fridays, I think, are a little more off the cuff and a little more, the topics don't have to be so on point. Because, it's Friday. Don't we want to relax a little, have a little fun if we can manage it. Alright, I got everything pulled up now. Let me take a look here at the notes just because. So today, I know what we're going to be talking about today. Or at least part of it, as I always do. I kind of let it sprawl wherever it goes. But today I want to talk about something that isn't really political in the regular sense. But in this culture, we have these in many ways we've lost our worship of gods and religion, and we've now replaced that culturally with a worship for celebrity. It's interesting how, we grow these relationships with someone who you don't even know, really. You don't, you only know one side of these people, and it is the essence of a performative side. But now, so many of my generations and generations above me, and below me even, of course, with some of the people, we're seeing all of our stars go in different ways. And everybody's got to go at one point, we're all human, and, we're not on this earth forever. But it's interesting how, I'm someone like a lot of people who's, all the people, I idolize, there's a good amount of them who are on the older side, who come from an era not of this time. And so it's now, we're seeing basically all the people slowly go out. And then eventually one day will be those people teetering out as the youngest generations come forward in such a crazy short amount of time. Like Chadwick Boseman, he was so young. It's hard to really try and even accept something like that. It's just so tragic. And another really tragic death that happened recently was that of Bob Saget. Now, I'm not somebody who has always been like a huge, diehard fan of Bob Saget or anything. In fact, I didn't even I never watched Full House. I didn't realize he was even on it for a long while. The thing I thought I knew him the most from for a long time was that he used to host AFV before Tom Vergeron. And I really actually only in the last like less than 6 months of time actually did I even start to really appreciate him because of another celebrity who passed away recently, and that is Norm Macdonald, who is one of my favorites. And I'll get into that later. Or maybe I will. But Bob Saget, with the thing that's happening right now, so I certainly don't know, the context of what led to Bob Saget's passing. In fact, it may well be that Bob Saget might be the only person who knows that. I don't know. It could have been an accident. That's what they reported it as, and at the moment, that is what the claim is by the Orange County Police Force, I believe. Or not Orange County. Wait. Sorry, I'm confusing stories that I was talking to. He was in Florida when it happened. He had just done a comedy show in Florida, and he was in a hotel room, and this is what is now interesting. So he died, I think it was less than a month ago. That upset me so much when I saw that, because we need more people like Bob Saget in the world. We really do. Um, and I'll get into kind of how the only appreciation that I've grown for him, which really has been recent. It was very recent growing appreciation that I had for him. And I'll get into that, but more just the situation that's happened. Doctors now have come out, multiple experts, doctors. Some of them have gone on CNN even. Um, the family of Bob Saget, I think he has 2 kids and a spouse, and they don't want right now. They're not releasing any records, and I don't think they want to. And there's so many reasons as to why it could be, that your family doesn't want to release the health records of a brutal, tragic death of someone you knew and loved personally. If that's their decision, it's not me or any publics to say, in my opinion. But of course, we want to know the truth, and the only reason I could possibly think of a bad reason for why they wouldn't want to, release is because if someone is telling them they shouldn't and they're being threatened. And I have no proof or any reason to think that could be the case. In fact, you should assume is that it's not the case, and that we don't know these people's lives, and it's not our place to say. However, all that being said, even though the medical stuff has not been released publicly, there are medical experts, of course, in the last months who have gone over it, and they have now come to try and surmise a cause of death. And what the police force said was that there was no signs of any drugs or overdose, and they also said that there was no signs of foul play. And they said that he died in his bed and probably didn't think of it, and died in his sleep. Well, that doesn't really add up if you count what doctors are saying right now. Professionals who have looked at it, and their opinion is that the trauma that was done to Bob Saget's head that killed him, you couldn't have just tripped over something and forgotten about it and thought, oh, maybe it was more of a concussion than I thought. They said that literally the type of trauma needed to do that, either if you have to fall stories from a building, or you could have gotten hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat. That's their words. That's what it would take to cause the trauma. And maybe it was an accident. Maybe it's a complete accident. But if that's true, why was he in his bed? And don't you think that would have been something to mention from the start, that the trauma in his head was that severe? No foul play, 100%, no even attempt at an investigation to just find out what happened, genuinely, without cause of assumption of anyone's guilt or anything. It's just weird that there is no, call to that. And in fact, we're finding this out a month later. So I don't know. And it's just the thought that there's even some amount of, Bob Saget, of all these celebrities, man, he is one of the most wholesome and sweetest. And I learned that because at Norm Macdonald's passing, who there's no questioning of how Norm Macdonald unfortunately passed, but that was due to cancer that he had for 9 years and didn't tell a single soul about other than his mother. But Bob Saget, after his passing, I actually understood that they were really, really close friends, like more close than I understood, like loving friends, like real friends. When he died, when Norm Macdonald died, a bunch of celebrities like Conan and I don't know why I picked Conan out of all of them, but so many celebrities said their piece and of course responded to the career of Norm Macdonald and just said all the nicest things they could say. But Bob Saget, on the other hand, didn't tweet anything, didn't make a post. Sorry, excuse me. Bob Saget decided that he had to make a video just responding and just him talking, rambling, kind of like what I do all the time here, just trying to genuinely give you guys my feelings on all these things. And so Bob Saget, just like, I think it was over maybe less than a week or somewhere around a week, maybe a week and a half after he passed, Bob Saget just posted. It's on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's still there. It's like a 35-minute video, and it's just him talking. It's more audio. There's like a slideshow going on, I think, in the video, but he just talks about Norm Macdonald in the most genuine way he can, as his friend that he was to him, and just hearing him go through, recounting what he recounts, and the love and the genuineness, and now the roast that Bob Saget had. Bob Saget had a roast, and Norm Macdonald was there. The producers wanted Norm Macdonald to be there because, of course, they know each other. Like, Norm Macdonald, he's the guy who roasts people. He's the guy who went after OJ relentlessly, went after, the Clintons relentlessly, and then, but it's all in play. Like, then he was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner for him, and he can go after, you really, but Norm really does go into people and, like, make jokes that people might not be comfortable with. And so they really wanted him to do that for Bob Saget, and they're like, hey, like, just they really go at him, And literally just in protest to that, Norm Macdonald, he said, you know what? Fuck you guys. And he decided that on his roast of Bob Saget, when his turn came up, he was just going to read off of, like, note cards the corniest jokes you've ever heard that are the least threatening, the least offensive, the least, just because that is the joke. That was the joke he wanted to make, was that he's doing the opposite of what you would expect to do, and he actually didn't want to go after his friend, because Bob Saget genuinely is one of his closest friends that he had. And that's the thing, I'm here talking about it as if I, know, and I don't know, and I'm not one of, I didn't know them. We only know the gifts that they gave us, but they're all just people with so many, issues and situations and cares. And from that as well, I've seen some more Bob Saget stuff in the past. The last video he had before he went out is really sweet, and he just did a little live stream, a short one for his fans. I think it was like on Instagram, probably, or maybe Twitter. But it's just very sweet. He's just such a sweet person, and that's why it's very upsetting to see someone like that go, let alone go with questions like that. Why and how could that happen and no one want to know? It's a tragedy either way. It won't, nothing can bring back Bob or Norm or any of the people that we've lost so dearly. Carrie Fisher died at 60. She's the youngest of her trio, and yet she was the first to go. Part of this whole stream is it's an exploration. I want to just be as honest as I can be, because those are the best kind of performers, are the ones who are honest. And if in order to enact the change and goodwill and compassion that I hope, I must do a political performance, this is what it has to be like, where it's on my terms. And I have this right here to ease my mind, because that's the honest truth of what eased my mind more than anything. We all, some people have religion that they go to, a church. You ever go to your local religion? I mean, I guess that doesn't not make sense. But, some people, in fact, you could argue probably almost 100% of one party that dominates our systems that run our, country, they go to church on Sunday. And probably even more than half of everyone in Congress goes to church on Sunday, because it gives them, relief and closure and understanding to the world around them. And it's what they believe. But me, the church I go to on Sunday is band rehearsal. And oh boy, is this year going to be quite a show. But Norm Macdonald and Bob both were performers that the people who adored them, at least I mean, I can only speak for myself. Um, but I know that a lot of people probably would share this sentiment, is that part of what made them so special is that they were able to perform and remain wholly genuine. I mean, Norm Macdonald, like that's the thing. I've only had about three comedians that have really ever fully, they've spoken to me. And it's not just that they make me laugh, but they make me laugh and they make me think. But Norm stands out in where he's actually, I mean, the way, the only way he seems making you think is about the joke. Whereas some of the other people I like, and just about everybody, you know, the jokes have relevance to this bigger, you know, something else. And that's maybe what their perspective and what they're addressing is. Whereas Norm, he's on always. And the point of what he's doing all the time is just to literally make you bust laughing, no matter by how many means necessary. And every single thing he says, you know, a lot of times Norm will make you laugh not because of just what he says, but it's more how he says it, because he's just so engaged with you in that way, in his comedic way. He is there for the comedy more than anything else. And it's pure. He's so purely, like, he's not trying to shove his ideologies about the world on you and make you, you know, rethink your your moral composure as a citizen of the society. And while I love jokes that do that, Norm was just there to really give you light. And the fact that Bob Saget was one of the people he held most dear, that speaks to that. And Norm, you know, I don't think he wanted very many close friends. He's a very different type of person. One of his best jokes that he tells. There's so many great clips you can see of him on Conan and a bunch of shows, but he went on Conan a lot. And just seeing him on Conan has actually made me more endeared to Conan than I ever had been before. And I think I finally understand his show. I never was that interested in it before. But Norm, one of his latest jokes, one of his last jokes he made on the airwaves was, that's the thing, it wasn't even like, he didn't bring it like a joke. Conan just asked him a question, and just any question you ask Norm, he's got an answer for it, whether he just thought of it then or he had it in his back pocket, and it'll be clever and funny and maybe off color and maybe the funniest thing you've ever heard. And he's talking about, Norm Macdonald had just released a memoir about his well, that's the thing, actually, the whole point is that he's saying it's not a memoir, and it's a joke that it's a memoir. I should read it. I'd actually love to read it. I have not gotten it, but do you hear that? Oh my god, that's funny. That's my phone vibrating in the tripod. That's my dad calling me. I guess my dad forgot that I'm streaming Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. But that's okay. That's all right, Dad. But so Norm Macdonald, Conan asks him the question. He asks him about it. He's like, well, if this were a memoir, you know, it's not a memoir. He's like, oh, so this doesn't have any juicy secrets. He's like, well, if it was, like, what would be a juicy secret that was in this book? And Norm Macdonald immediately, not even immediately, it's just casually, he has the answer. It's like, well, you know, if I were to put something in this book of mine, it would be that I'm actually a deeply closeted homosexual. And Conan's in the audience reaction is just very like, what is this? Oh my god, wait, really? You're a homosexual, Norm? And he goes, no, I'm not gay. He's like, what? And it's this whole back and forth. And he's like, no. I do you know what deeply closeted means? He's like, yeah. It's like, it means a guy who will not admit to you that he's gay. And he's like, okay. He's like, so I'm telling you, I'm not gay. And and I didn't deliver it clearly, you know, with you should just watch it. I shouldn't have done that. I probably ruined it now for you. Um, but the whole joke is clearly that, you know, that's the thing, Norm. You can't tell what's real or not. You're like, was that really a joke? Was it really a joke, or did he decide maybe to get out a truth in a really hilarious, hysterical, and honest way, and say he's a very deeply closeted man? I don't know. Could have been just a joke, but Norm, I mean, I believe he has one son, I believe, but I don't think he ever married. I'm not sure who, you know, his mother is, nor should I. Why? It's his own life, right? His own life's full of so much, and all these celebrities, we just see the little glimmer of when the camera's turned on. That's one fraction of their life. This right here is one fraction of my life. And so in order to do this, I have to feel like I actually give you some version of what the most authentic version of me on camera, trying to perform with nobody to talk to, trying to come up with conversation on the fly. It's not very easy, and I'm getting better at it, I think, but it's I'm doing it because it's the only way I think I can do this. And I think it's going to work. I do. Could not work, but, you know, I think it could. I think it actually has a really good chance, and I think some people might underestimate us. And by us, I mean literally just us. That's how that's why I feel good about this. Not because all the crap going on in our world. See, now, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't really end the Bob Saget note on anything, so I feel bad now, kind of almost saying something nice when I haven't. But I was just transitioning to talk about this stream as shit. But Bob Saget, anyway. Fucking rest in peace. I hope we get answers, but whatever it is, you know, it is, and it's just to send our best wishes to all his loved ones, familial and friends, because I'm sure he made a lot of friends, real friends. So let's send them their love, because they're probably hurting way more than any of us might be from it. But the gift is pure, and we need to give it forward, if anything. Or at least that's what I'm going to do. I have to. And so in this, yeah, the thing is, I'm not that pessimistic about my odds, because, oh, look at that. The chat, we finally have a chat. What is it? A good old-fashioned body boy. Beppa rent, but the R and E are capitalized in the, or no, the E and the N are capitalized in the R and the T are. Whatever. I'm rambling. We don't have much time, do we? The stream, it's only up for another 20 to 30 minutes. 20 or 30 minutes that I long for. Doing this is quite nerve-wracking, but as I do it more, and I'm getting more comfortable with it. See, that's the thing. I talk to people, and we all talk to people, but I try to talk to people and, you know, just listen. Every person I talk to thus far, really, I mean, I don't want to become overconfident, because it really, you know, the cards are stacked against us. But every now and then comes a time when the underdogs must turn a new leaf. And in this, I feel like that might be what's happening, because every regular person I talk to has their own understanding and their own perspective, but the understanding across almost everyone reaches a similar diagnosis of our problem. And when everybody's got the diagnosis, that's when we actually can find solutions and cures. And that's where our conversation now is. And this year is going to prove quite the conversation, I hope. There's already so much going on out there. But now we need stuff going on in here. Every year we're so excited about... Not every year. What am I saying? We only get to get excited for elections every 4 years. I mean, that's the thing, we have midterms, and actually every year, even between the midterms, there's elections, all over the place. But our media and our culture and 1,000, fingers you could point at to the root causes, as everyone likes to say, the root causes of our society, has led us now to where the only politics that mostly matters to people is the presidential one. And that's the thing. I see us in the last while, we've slowly been kind of coming out of a phase where we're not just caring about the president, but we're kind of carrying down a little more now. We're becoming a little more conscious. I feel like today, this would be interesting. I want to ask somebody who's older and actually remembers living in a time like, the New Deal era. Because there's people alive who do. But I wonder, versus like, say, like the 50s to today, I wonder what the comparable knowledge would be between people and their local elections and their local officials versus just the presidential. Because, somewhere along the way, in our past, it's come to where we really only care about presidential. Nobody could give a crap about local elections, most often. But I wonder what it was like before neoliberalism. I wonder if that was a symptom or if before there was actually more focus. But I have a feeling it might not be. I have a feeling that actually maybe even since the 50s, I feel like maybe presidents are what still people, because, you can't expect someone to know so much about, we think, yeah, we have a lot to focus on today and it's hard to know about politics, but back then people were, living, working jobs. They had just gotten, Social Security and a minimum wage, but they still didn't have any paid time off. They just had decent livings. But so now in today, I can see, I can't see. I just observe. Whatever that means. I feel like today, there's starting now to be more focus on politics as a whole than just the presidential. In fact, I feel like most people now at least have more than just presidents that they know and talk about. Most people know, at least a couple senators and representatives. Maybe they don't know exactly which district or where they're from, but they know some names. And even now, everyone knows the vice president. And that wasn't the case actually a while ago. Maybe if Jimmy Kimmel were to do another one of those like rock around the block things, Jimmy Kimmel. But anyway, maybe he would find that a lot of people don't know the vice president, but that doesn't actually because now the information age of the internet has coalesced, and now actually we know so much. And while, the average Joe is not super into politics, might not know, who Senator Lindsey Murkowski is and who Representative Ro Khanna might be, they might only know AOC and Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Manchin maybe. Or maybe not even all of them. But now, the vice president, so many people didn't really even care who Joe Biden was when Obama was president. They only cared about Biden. And while the vice president now might be really known for opposite reasons, being horribly disliked and having some of the lowest approval ratings for a vice president I think you've ever seen in history, people know who she is. People knew who Mike Pence was. And so people are now, whether through good reasons or vitriolic reasons, people are more politically conscious right now than they have been previously. And now is the time for the next step of that. Not just observation and awareness, but action. And that's we need more attention on local politics, and in the sense of your local politics. And I know I'm hoping to talk to a lot of people in my district right now. Of course, people I know and people I'll be campaigning with, but literally for you, wherever you are, like your local politics, we should be invested. Every time we vote, if you care, We've been given a lot of reasons not to care about our government politics for a long time, so I actually very much get why people don't care. But you know, if we're starting to care more, we need to apply it into actual politics and our local legislatures, not just the one in D.C., not just Congress and the Senate, who has been, who gets the most spotlight. We need to be focusing on this thing. If we can so much in this, era of all of it is about communities and are finding our communities. And we have a lot of communities online and people we connect through with who are all over the place, and it's very loving and wonderful. And we're finding ways to identify ourselves by our communities. And yet, in the real life of the worlds we live in, we don't have much community at all. Everyone moves and always is moving, and there's no settling down in one place anymore. It's just about the job and getting a job that pays well, no matter where that takes you, if it's local or if it's many, many miles away. We have lost our sense of community because communities can't maintain themselves anymore. Communities don't have enough. Our community, whether you think of that as Grand Blanc or Flint or the entire greater Flint area or Michigan or our country, we have lost community. We have lost our connection with one another as a people living together. I was fortunate enough to I played with the jazz band. I was a keyboard player with a jazz band that went overseas in 2019. It was great. It was wonderful that I got to do it right before COVID, even though the trip itself actually had many tough times, actually. Now looking back, I would rather have it with all the tough times and even harder times than not have it at all, because it happened right before COVID. So I'm very blessed with that. And with the month or more that I stayed over in Europe, we went through, we played mostly in France, but we had a couple stops in Germany. And I stayed with host families each time. Very well-off host families. So, obviously my representation of living in these places was of not probably the most common, but it still is a representation of a world. And as we know and hear about all the time, but don't really get to see much, I saw an economically integrated society of like actual like villages and people, people actually caring about each other, and where market consumerism, it almost seemed, it's a thing, I've only thought about it more, since I was there, but when I was there, I was not, it was very uncomforting, having been bred in my branded world of consumer products and labels. I would go shopping with some of my families. That's the thing, but it didn't feel like shopping. Shopping to me feels like like I'm going shopping. I got the grocery bags and we're getting a bunch of stuff, but it was more like we just went out to get what we needed, and we made multiple stops. We went to the local butcher. There's a local butcher in this town that gives you the meat directly. That he it was just this. And then you go to the grocery store, and there's not just signs everywhere telling you all what's on clearance. You just it was almost, that's the thing. I was like almost uncomfortable. But there's a sense of community and love of each other as a people, where solutions to solving issues of mass poverty aren't quite so. They still have poverty in those countries because they're still holding on to the system that we have perpetrated. But over there, they're more open to different ideas. Like Germany just elected, the left party has control now, which is being controlled by the Labour Party, and I can't think of the other two. I'm not expert on German parties. But over there, they have many parties. See, that's the whole thing. We're like parties as in multiple, but more than two, you mean? Like, we have freedom over here. We have the freedom, apparently, to do what we want. We're apparently the most free country, except for when it comes to politically speaking, actually having power. Our people, we are only free. That's the thing. You have choice. You have choice. Freedom means you're choosing, right? We have freedom to choose every year, every 4 years, every 2 years. pretty much between two parties. That is the minimum amount of what a choice can be. Like if you were to have as close to not having any choice and freedom as you could be to not just having a choice, it would be 2. That's it. That's the minimum amount of a choice between these two, because that's the amount of control that they've masterfully levied over centuries. The man has the interests of the aristocracy and the ruling class. And here we are. And the time has come. The time has come for us to be a little more excited about local elections, because they're right here. They're in our face. We can do something about it. And all the people in local elections, they're full of characters and full of scummy and courageous people that inspire you and make you sick on all fronts, just like they do in regular Congress. And so all the solutions that we're looking for as a whole that seem hopeless, not only are they not hopeless, but we actually can do more for ourselves right now in our own country of Michigan. That's not meaning to say we should. I meant that more. I watched John Adams a while ago, and he's like, Massachusetts is my country, sir. And so I kind of like that. I like thinking about your state as like your, if you like it, everyone moves around. I happen to be someone. That's the thing. I'm doing this because I happen to be someone who actually, I enjoyed growing up where I grew up, and I enjoyed the world around me. Not because it was perfect. That's why most people, not most people, but most of the people that I do know who have wanted to get out of here, and most people who do get out of their own town they grow up in, which is what most people do these days. I happen to enjoy where I come from a little too much. And I've actually, it actually would be nice to live, in different places. I've lived here my whole life. I was living in Chicago for a time before COVID hit. And I love Chicago, and there's so many places around here that I've been. I was fortunate enough that my parents, took me and my brother on many camping trips. There's many places, many vacations many types of places. There's also tons of places, that I haven't seen. So many places I'd like to be. But I do feel at home where I've come from. And I think the reason so many people don't want to stay wherever they grow up and don't want to become involved in the local elections of the place that they happen to grow up with is because it doesn't feel like home. And the elected officials that you're supposed to care about that don't remember their name and just send you a card right here, like every 3 years when they're about to run for re-election, or 2 years, I suppose, with the rep one, or maybe just hey, remind you who was representing you because I might be running for something else soon. It doesn't make you feel like you're at home when that's the environment. That's the cold, jargony, nonsensical market solutions attitude of politics that does affect the material world of our communities that we live in. And yet they're caricatures of the early 80s still running our government right now. And on that note, I want to play something. I don't know what yet, but let me think. I just want to play something. That's ugly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm playing so many ugly little crunches. But sometimes you want the crunch, you know, like on cinnamon toast. Oh, oh, what a good one! What a good one! Probably, you want to know why? Oh my God! Want to know why? Want to know why the guy was? Want to know why this one dude was invited to a party? Oh, oh, I messed it up already. See, that's why I didn't say it, because I knew there was something missing. And I fucked it up again. But, you know, this dude I meant, he was like, he was a mushroom as a person. But, and he, you want to know why? Why he always got invited to these parties, these crazy parties? You want to know why? You want to know why? Because he was a fun guy. Bro. Oh, such a classic. Can't get better than that right there. Cannot get better than that one. Not even the greats could top that joke. Not in a million years. Alright. Well, we kind of made it here close to the end, but we got about 10 minutes because I started a little late. 4 minutes to the hour, but also, so all this, you know, Bob Saget stuff I brought up. If you had watched my last stream, you know, I talked about something kind of relevant, I guess, in the sense, if you think it's relevant, of people dying and us not really understanding the causes. I mean, everyone knows about Jeffrey Epstein and shit, but everyone knows about Spacey and all the other misters out there, and the Cosbys. But it's the thing, we only know, I don't even know what we know. But why would any enforcement officers, any investigative people, anyone who ever had the say of releasing the information of what the death of his was? I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. Perhaps, like, there could be a million reasons as to why it happened, why he's dead, why he was in the bed, and why the officers were led to think that he fell asleep with it. There could be a number of reasons that are real that I don't know about, and of course the family, like, you know, I don't know their reasons. I can't. No one could, and maybe it was their decision, to not fully disclose the situation. But why? I don't think it's their place to, right? That's the thing. I think about this through my head and I try to justify it, and I don't like that there's new things every week that nag at me that I can't fix in my head. In fact, just about every day, actually, and it's been for years now. So that's, you know, that's why I'm here. I say it all the time, and I'll say it again, and I'll be saying much more. I'm very sorry that there's no clips posted yet. Still working that out, and I'm still working it out. I'm sorry, guys, and also, I know I've been told by two people who were on here, who were in the chat a while ago, that apparently right now the keyboard sound, that's good and comes through both sides, but apparently the audio from my microphone is only coming out of left speakers, and so if you're watching it on your phone or on something else without headphones, I guess you might not notice, but I gotta fix that. I gotta fix it only playing the left earbud headphone, because that's not what I want. I don't want to make headphone listeners feel like they're listening to The last track from the Nylon Curtain. I'm not playing it right, but you know. Here's a song, and vocals only come through the left side. So whenever you listen to it on headphones, it's a bit shaky. So I don't want to be shaking anyone with my illustrious vocal cords in their left ears only. I want to be doing it in both of your ears. What a suspension. I'm basically just killing time at this point, but you're never really killing time, you're living it. To kill time implies that you have that time is another, and that you have a say over it somehow. But time is just always moving on, and we're only ever in this moment right now. And this moment right now is always and every moment forward, affected by every single moment that came before it. Everyone. So I don't think we can really kill time. We can only give life to it. I wish I had practiced. Does anybody really know what time it is by Chicago? But I think it's like there's some. What's that? Oh, we got another minute here. Let me see if I can figure out in 1 minute, and I'll end the stream. I was walking down. What's the? Come on, let me just hear the key. Come on. Maybe I'll learn it for next time stream. But I appreciate all y'all hopping on here. I hope you enjoyed the little hello from my cat at the beginning. And I sincerely hope that you enjoy yourself as much as you can. Keep it real, everybody. Solidarity, love, peace, and goodwill to all. Yes, indeed, yes.